choosing to be a musician has so much to do with depression. That it's very often the cause of it. And why that is the case is something that needs to be spoken about. My name is Kenji. I was born in Japan, in Kobe. Was there until I was 10. My grandparents, they had this little very old upright, and it was in our house. Well, we lived at our grandparents' house actually, and it was just there as a piece of furniture. Anyway, since I was pretty much from about the age of 1, I would go and climb into the leg space and just sit there and hold the legs. It was my favorite place in the house. I don't know why. And I used to go there stark naked and just sit there. So I think I had a really very pure affection towards the piano. And I think that's how it started. Moving to Dubai, in terms of music, it was maybe not such an easy move. Back in the day, there was no trace of classical music whatsoever, so we couldn't find a piano teacher. So that meant three and a half years of absolutely no piano lessons, no one to give me advice or guidance. Around when I was 12, I was speaking one day to a friend of my mother's, who was English, and she told me, "Hey, you know, there are a couple of music schools that have boarding systems in England where you could go to and maybe, you know, get a scholarship." It wasn't just that I wanted to leave Dubai, it was also that I wanted to leave my home, my family. I was never a happy kid. I mean, I'm not really sure I ever felt happy when I was a kid. I mean, being depressed is different than being unhappy, right? I think I only started noticing it when I was about 15 years old. That was already when I was in London. Yeah, I think it was about then. I think one of the main ways that playing the piano has helped me through some of the difficult times is that it gave me a sense of identity. It was in my hands, it was my work, and yeah, I think that gave me strength in a way. Because I was brought up not to go to other people with my problems. I've never in my life discussed a problem with my parents. I was just told not to. I think the thing about music is that it's a language of communicating emotion. And so through playing, whatever it is that you're playing, you start to understand exactly what it is that you're feeling. Because most of the time, you feel such a cluster of emotions that you don't really understand what's going on or why it is that you're feeling what you're feeling. But somehow through music you can identify what you feel in a very direct way sometimes. You know, you just listen to a song and it just strikes that chord perfectly. And I think that's what I was looking for, and that's what helped me process my emotions maybe. One of the biggest dangers of playing an instrument and pursuing that as a career from a very young age or just doing anything from a very young age and just aiming for that, is that you just have paths set before you. That was the reason why I quit once when I was 19. And I told myself, right, this is finally the moment when I face my problems. And I said to myself, I'm not coming back to the piano until I've found what I'm looking for. And the question was, why? Why do I have to play the piano? Why is it something that I have to do? Not as a hobby, not as a passion, but as everything that is important in my life. Because you have to sacrifice so much to pursue a career. It's only just you and yourself. You don't have monthly income. You don't have health insurance given. It's not a stable thing. And it's so competitive and it's so difficult. The likelihood of just being able to live off playing concerts as a pianist in this world is just close to impossible. And yet, why, knowing all the statistics, why is it that I have to invest my life for this? Being able to find it is really the only reason why I'm... Well... Anyway, the answer for me was that anything in life could be taken away. Family, friends, people, job, money, fame, anything, reputation. Anything you can have in life can be taken away somehow. But I realized the only thing I could be certain of in my life, was that I have to play, because that's the only thing that can't be taken away from me. Everything else can be taken away, but not music. Even if I were to have an injury and lose my hands and wouldn't be able to play. Even if I'm completely in a coma in bed, God forbid, I'm sure I would still hear music. I could feel it. That was for me like the ultimate. That realization was the turning point. Half the solution to mental health issues is to get to a point where you say, I need some help. That's the one step that people are afraid to take. Because they're afraid that they might be judged. They're afraid to accept that there's something that they actually have to deal with. That's, I guess, what I'm trying to do today, to talk about it, to say that it's okay to talk about it. And it doesn't have to mean that everything in your life is ruined, everything comes to a stop. You can still continue, just step by step.